Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Check Out the Rileys. See how many people we get in the house here. Hello, hello. Says it's a 10-second ahead, but looks to be more than that. Hello. Welcome, welcome. It's not showing me who's all here. Oh, there it goes. All right. Welcome, welcome. Tonight we're going to have some special guests coming on. Um, There he is, Bill O'Reilly. That's kind of me. You know, Biggie, I don't know if I've said this to you, but my mother researched our family name back, and it used to be O'Reilly, but my great great grandfather changed it because he was told of, all the prejudiced people against the Irish here in America. So he changed the name when he was coming in on Ellis Island or whatever, and had it changed to just Riley. That's what they were talking to a lot of the Irish to change up their Irish names, and he fell for it, I guess. So we're no longer O'Reillys. We're just Rileys, so we don't look so Irish. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Looks to be. Okay, so they changed it, yeah. So you understand that one as well. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. There's a lot of Rileys in America. Some of them spell their name differently too. I wondered how they got so many different types of Riley. And of course, the O'Reillys. The O'Reillys they came in later, and they weren't convinced to change their name. Welcome, welcome. I put my glasses back on. Maybe I can see who's here. Hello, hello, Chi. Welcome, welcome. Good evening. Yes, my wife should be here anytime now. Yeah, be Bill O'Reilly. How does that Bill spell his Riley? I think it's spelled. Is it Rielly, or I can't remember. I actually one credit card I had when I was younger. My middle name is D, and one credit card that I had took the D and made it an O. So on some of my, if you do a background check on me, you can see that I used Bill O'Reilly one time in my life because of that credit card that put my middle name from D to an O. So it says Bill O'Reilly on one credit card. I think it was a Discover card or a Sears card or something when I was young and dumb and had a bunch of credit cards. So yes, yes. Well, I'm hoping our guests show up tonight. They live in our area and they have experienced some brownouts in the area. So, but we'll see. And they've never done this before, so yeah. Hello, Celia's Corner. Appreciate you showing up. My wife just finished up a class So she went out of the room to probably hit up the restroom and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes she does get lost. She is known for doing that too. She'll go out and get sidetracked when I'm starting a show, and then she's gone for a little bit here. So we'll give Steve a little bit of time here to get here. So I'm going to introduce you to an expat that lives in our area. Ooh, that is weird. Another expat that came down here. Oh, there he is. Elect Bible Ministry. Steve, I'm going to drop a link here, and it's for you. And uh-oh. There it is. I'm not on my laptop, so I had to look for it. So that link right there, Steve, you'll hit that, and then it will take you to the StreamYard. So we'll give him a chance to come up, and there's a few things he has to do. And again, he's never done this before, so it might be a little bit of a learning thing tonight. We'll teach him what we're up to and all that kind of good stuff. Merce. Sorry. Hopefully I'm not too loud, but I want to be loud and clear for everyone. We are in the bedroom. This is my son's bedroom, but we've been hanging out here because his air conditioner works and ours doesn't. Yep. And also, if you guys would, my friend, his Elective Bible Ministries channel there, it's brand new. So he's only got a few subscribers so far. I'm asking everyone to give him a chance, give him a try. I think he's only got one video up so far. That's how brand new it is. So I want to introduce him and also ask you guys if you would go check him out, become friends. Thank you guys. It looks like we got 4 people in the house already. Appreciate you coming, and don't forget, I don't think I can see you on here. You know, I haven't done the StreamYard in a minute. My wife did the other day, but it was on her. But don't forget to hit those, smash those thumbs up or down. Either way, let people know we're here. If you have a community tab, you might give us a shout out on there. Let everybody else know that we're live, and maybe we can get 70 or 80 of your closest friends to come join us. Never know who might show up here. Never know. Yeah. Thank you guys for showing up. Again, we took a hiatus from live streaming. We thought everybody was sick of our face. So we want to start doing our live streams again, as long as we stay entertaining and fresh. Only had 44 thumbs down today. Like day. Hey, 44 is a good number. That means they love you. Shardy, how you doing, my friend? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're giving Steve a chance to make his way in the house. I didn't know how to exactly tell someone how to come into StreamYard anymore. Since you set yours up one time and then it's kind of clicky when you're in. Yes, the thumbs up. Yes, up or down. Either way, we're good with either. We like both. Because if you take the time to give us a thumbs down, we know you love us. uh, wow, only one island gave you all those thumbs down. 43 of the 44. Uh, you're loved a lot around there, huh? Yeah, that is awesome. Well, welcome everyone. We hope you have a little bit of time and some patience tonight. Again, our friends haven't done this type of format yet. They've not been on the live stream. Um, so we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but again, when it's your first time doing it, some sometimes it's a little bit tricky to do it, right? If we weren't on lockdown, we might have went to their place or had them over or something. But we can't do that. The 44 thumb down came from me. I needed to 2 thumbs down myself. Okay. So you gave yourself old thumbs down. Hey, I understand that one. Sometimes I feel like giving myself a thumbs down. Especially when I wear too tight of shirts and they keep showing my man boobs. Like, what is going on with this? I need a bigger shirt today or something. Oh, well, at least I'm gorgeous. Uh, hopefully you guys are having a great day. I hear some binging going on. I don't see anything. Hey, Mountain Man. Welcome. The Mountain Man from Bahol. Yes, that's awesome. Appreciate you being here. Again, my wife is going to show up any second now. I promise you. She's on that what they call that Filipino time. So give me a minute. I'll be right here. Might might take a few more minutes than what I thought. But welcome. Hopefully, our friends aren't having too much problems getting in, but don't know if they can hear me. Steve, if you're in the house and if you're having trouble, feel free to either message me. I got my tablet sitting here, that's why I keep looking. Message me or just ask here. Everybody is in the house. Is very patient, so don't worry, don't worry about it. And my friend Big E here, he does like my man boobs. Look at that. You guys don't be too jealous.
What?
Thank you for that water.
Oh, where's the water?
What? My wife was getting me water there. So here we go. I see our friends just popped up here. First, where's the mute for a second? Hold on 1 second here, and I'll get you up. All right, here they are.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi.
We
Can you
can
hear
hear
us?
you. Yes.
Hallelujah.
There you go. You can see them better if you do that.
Hello, guys.
Let's
So,
go.
everybody, this is Steve and Lanie, or Lian, or Lanie. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. They are from uh, our area right
Yes.
here. Their name of their channel is uh, Elect Bible Ministry. Mercy, I got you set up here, so if you want to share that, give me just a second. I gotta shut this door. Somebody left the door open, and it's like blazing hot.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a big, like you open the oven. Oh, the heat
Yeah,
just comes in. So,
95,
um,
95 degrees all the time.
yes, exactly. It's at least, but there's everybody's talking. Where is it? Where do we go out? Go back in. There it is. So we're gonna put up a link to their channel here. So if you guys would, if you're interested, go over, check out their channel. Uh, be be supporters of theirs. They're good friends of ours, and we'll tell you a little bit about
We
that
met them in
situation.
person.
Yeah,
We hang out with them.
we, we, we've seen them more than once.
Yes. We went to
Fine.
their garden, their house. Yeah, they're very nice couple. So, guys, if you haven't checked their channel, go check it out. Support them. Yes, they're good people. Yeah.
So like we said, we go to the same church as them as well. So
Yes.
um, what is that? They say you go to our church or we go to your church. Is that how you do it?
I don't know. um, well, I'm British, so I would say that you go to our church.
uh, British came first, huh?
Right.
Well, you know, I mean, I realize we lost the War of Independence. I'm sorry, but
Yes. Well, can you guys tell us a little bit about your channel? What is it about? What is it going to be about?
okay. Shall I go first? Yeah, I've been the one that's been doing all the you know the finger, what they call it, finger magic.
Yeah.
The channel, it's a companion to the website that I created quite a few years ago in preparation for me coming to the Philippines. So the website was been there first, same name, Elect Bible Ministries .wordpress.com, and my original idea, and still my idea for the website, was and is to have a King James Bible version Bible oriented teaching. Um, so I wanted to basically have material that was available on the website. That some of it would be my own, something
Mhm.
I've created. I'll talk about that a little bit in a minute, and trying to find also other suitable, fairly straightforward, not difficult coursework for basically for new Christians,
Yeah.
to help people to grow in their walk with God and their understanding of the Christian faith. Because I felt that it's something that was quite lacking, really, in a lot of churches. That Christian education seems to have taken a well, it's left to the people who do what do they call it? Sunday school, or different names for it, but you know what I mean. The
Right. Right.
children's education, if you like, it seems
Uh-huh.
to have been relegated to that. And then when you go to churches, the pastors are they teach from the pulpit. They do their sermon, and but there's less time, I think, for pastors to be able to engage in, shall we say, organized coursework for people. And so that's basically what the website was about. And I spent the last before I came back here in September. Prior to that, I've been spending about 8 or 9 months creating my own courses. I've got 2 courses on there. Everything, by the way, is on there for free. There's no charge for any of that. So I've done presentation-based courses for new Christians. It would take a long time to explain what they're about now. You need to go on the website and have a look at that. But they are essentially, each one is a 13-part course, another one is a 12-part course, and the idea is that people can just download everything. So there's a PowerPoint. It's a PowerPoint sort of course. It's where you present it on PowerPoint, but you also have some other resources. You've got a course each. You've got an outline for each of the modules, if you like, and basically you to download it and run the course yourself. It's as simple as that. And it's not, you don't need to go out and do any studies. I've done quite a bit of that already. So it's all on the PowerPoint. So you just need to sort of go through it, basically. So yeah, those are the 2 main things that I've done for myself, by myself for the site. And so the YouTube channel really is like a continuation of that. Now that I've got settled here with Lanie in the Philippines, just taking a few deep breaths, and now we're all locked into our houses. we can't get out. It's like, well, okay, so what are we going to do? All those things that you wanted to do, you've now got the time to do. Great, isn't it? Yes. So
if you have the tools, you got the time, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Well, my dearest here has been digging the garden an awful lot.
Right.
Haven't you?
Cleaning the surroundings.
Cleaning the surroundings. Yeah. And setting fire to most of the surroundings as well, I hasten to add, but that's another story. So yeah, the website. Yeah, I'm just looking at John Baker. You've said you like to use Strong's Concordance. Absolutely right, and it is important to have a good, clear understanding of the words in the Bible when you're preparing any, whether it's a sermon or whatever it is. And I think that is an important point, by the way. So thanks for that, John. Yeah. So the continuation, the YouTube channel is sort of an extension of what I wanted to do. I'm trying to bring together some of the other preachers around the world that I have come across who have got some very good messages, I believe. Now, some people are not very keen on strong preaching, if you understand what I mean by strong preaching. I'm a very direct sort of person. I always have been. Sorry, love. And it's like, I don't believe in beating around the bush. I don't know if everyone's familiar with that phrase, but I'm not. If you've got something to say, then you need to say it. And if you're in a sermon, why go around the houses? You need to say it because you're trying to educate your congregation, and you're trying to help them, and so on and so on. So the preaching that I've found, you have to go to the YouTube channel to find it. Is some of it is very direct, some of it is educational, shall we say, in a more teachy kind of way. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring some fairly simple, but not, and also some in-depth stuff as well. For example, I've been trying to get through this myself. How many people know the Book of Revelation? Do you? I mean, I'm not going to test you, Bill and Mercy. Okay, how well do you know the Book of Revelation? How well does anybody know the Book of Revelation? Well, it's a mystery to begin with, isn't it? So everybody knows it. Well, we need the mystery. We need to know what happens in the end. We know what happens in the end. Jesus comes back, and everything. But we need to know a lot of the. Uncover these details. Well, Pastor Anderson Steve Anderson. He's a very direct kind of preacher, but knows the Bible absolutely inside and out. He's produced a set of videos of one for each of the chapters of Revelation. So you've got 22 hours, if you can stay awake that long, 22 hours of video where he is standing there. No, he doesn't stand there for 22 hours. I'll make that clear. He has a
Right,
break.
right.
Okay. But it's a very an excellent run through and go through of Revelation, and it's something that really people need to, especially if you're a Christian, you need to be looking at it.
Right, right.
So that's kind of it. And then getting to, you mentioned my one video. Okay, well, it's actually,
Right.
it's more what do they call it nowadays? A vlog, I think they call it.
Vlog. Yeah, yeah.
Not a blog, it's a vlog.
Right.
So you don't get to see my visage, my face. You don't get to see that. You just get to see the thing that's on the screen, and my dulcet tones. You see. No,
Right.
I did it that way because I don't want to scare people every time they
Right.
every time they switch on the video. Oh, it's him again. No. So, so I thought I'll do it by audio, and the idea is I want to produce my own very simple, straightforward, fairly short.
Yeah.
I'll call it mini sermons, if you like.
Right, right.
Well,
Sounds good.
the first few I'm doing, the first one that's on there, it's just one aspect of helping somebody to understand about salvation, and there are different ways that you can approach that. So I'm going to try approaching that from a few different angles in my first few, and then I've got a whole range of things that I want to be able to help people with from a gospel perspective. You understand?
Sure,
So
sure.
we're talking about any kind of situational problem a person might have, like,
Right.
for example, anxiety or depression or
Hey.
It's a good one.
a whole range of stuff, you know.
We as we get questions from the people in the chat room, we'll just pop some of them up on the screen here, and just give you those questions as well as our questions. So some of
Okay.
them, some of them aren't anything that you might want to see. They're saying hi to each other, that kind of thing. Again,
Right.
they are kind of new to the YouTube and especially to the live stream
Yes,
part of this. So please show us patience tonight as we chat with them and get to
And
know them.
educate me. Yeah, I need educating on
Right,
this.
right. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've put up a question there from Big E
Yeah.
in Cebu. Hi, Big E. King James Bible based, yes. Lean more towards Calvinistic? No. It's a simple answer. Arminian. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'm not 100% sure what Arminian means. I'm not that well educated, but we're certainly not Calvinistic. I'm, as the name implies, Elect Bible Ministries. I wrote a little book. I should point out, a little booklet doing a study on who are what is called God's chosen people. And so I come from the position of as far away from dispensationalism as you can get, if you know what that is. On the other side, I favour the other side of that. So God's chosen people are, well, there's 4 of us on picture at the moment. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of us here. None of us are Jews, so that's you know we're not they're not included. I've got to say that's the point. They're not included unless they accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. So that's kind of where our leaning is, if you like.
Sure.
Baptist-based Bible taught. You know, that's our and certainly not Calvinistic.
Right.
British expat in the Philippines is a bit late, but he wants to ask if you are a pastor. No, I'm not a pastor.
Right.
I did begin training as a pastor many years ago, but thanks to shall we say issues with certain, I don't quite know how to put this nicely, shall we say certain misconceptions with the use of Holy Spirit gifts in a Pentecostal church. That was many years ago. I've learned my lesson since. That put a stop to my training because I was training to be a pastor in a Pentecostal church. And
wow.
it had a bit of a problem with a thing called, people may remember, I don't know if somebody remembers this, it's called the Toronto Blessing. Now, if you're probably a lot older than Bill and Mercy, you would know what that is, and that is a problem that occurred starting in Toronto, believe it or not, with people doing silly things, very, very silly things, in the name of the Holy Spirit, and unfortunately, it caused enormous problems around the world with the churches. So that's why I ended up moving away, and I ended up losing my place, if you like. Not
Sure,
going.
sure, sure, sure.
So I decided life, etc., got in the way. So I sort of decided not to be a pastor. I'm an educator. That's my thing.
Yeah,
I'm a teacher. And some people would say, yeah, there's a well, surely being a pastor or a preacher is the same as a teacher. Yes and no. It depends on your way of approaching things. I think
sure,
a
sure.
preacher can stand up in front of a whole group of people and give a particular message. A teacher is more interactive. You're trying to interact with people and help them to understand in a different way. That's my way of things.
Something. Some of the people here may have seen you in another video that we have on our channel.
Yeah. Have you been
So
taking lessons?
it's still there.
Watching my karate show.
Yeah, she's been watching. What was the
Chinese, Korean,
what was the show that you said you watched?
Crouching Tiger,
Yeah.
Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, she's been watching that, binge watching that. So,
Right. Can I say, before you go any further, Bill, Mercy, I can't run in between bamboo trees as if by magic. I just can't do that. No, sorry. No, I can chop bamboo trees down, and I've been doing that here. But anyway, that's another story. Sorry, Bill. Please continue.
Oh no, but from the people that seen you in the other video and know that you have that interest as well, and that for not a part of your YouTube channel, but just talk a little bit about your interest in your other interest.
Martial art is the phrase. Okay. How can I want to say this in as few words as possible, because if I don't, we'll be here until 3 a.m.
Right.
So my interest in martial arts started because I experienced a very difficult childhood. I was bullied a great deal at school. So when I joined the Air Force at the age of 18, and I'd had enough of being pushed around, so the place where I was doing my electronics training in the Air Force, they had in the gym they had a taekwondo club, and I thought, yes, I'm here for over 12 months. I can get stuck. So I got stuck into that, and that's where it started really. And it was self-defense was the thing. I just wanted to build my confidence, and it kind of worked. People stopped picking on me, which was good. But the problem it's like this is like when you start something like that, it's a bit like a bug. It gets into you, and you just don't want to let it go. So, well, I didn't anyway. So,
sure.
That's where it started.
Just real quick, where are you from?
Where am I from?
And where are you now? I kind of gave away the now already, but where are you from? And where are you guys now?
Right. Well, let me start off with Lanie. She can tell you first of all where she's from.
Actually, my hometown is in Santo Niño, Barrio 9, Santo Niño, South Cotabato.
Which is how far away from here?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, not too far,
so she's what's called a local girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm growing up.
Yeah. But tell her where I met you. Tell him where did I meet you?
I met you.
No, well, we met each other. Well, yeah. Where were you?
Manila.
No, you weren't.
Where?
I'm talking about when I first met you.
First help me in Cebuana.com.
Oh yeah. It was an internet romance.
We
Oh,
know
nice.
about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she was in Saudi. That's what I was trying to get. She was in Saudi Arabia, so she wasn't local then. Anyway, so
Yes, I'm working in Saudi Arabia at the
Okay.
time, 2010.
10 years.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we've been together for quite some time. Okay, so that's Lanie and me. I'm from sunny England. I say England. I don't say UK because I don't. It doesn't really. I don't like the sound of that. People don't like to call it Great Britain anymore because people get upset and they think, well, you're not very great anymore, are you?
Right.
So, so I'm from England. I'm English. I was born in England in a place called Kendal in the Lake District in what is now called Cumbria. That's where. Excuse me. That's where I'm from.
And
where are we
where
now?
are we now?
Where am I now? I haven't measured it because somebody borrowed my tape measure this afternoon, so I don't know. But I think we're about 6,000 miles away from Kendal, possibly. I don't know. Or just on the outside of about 10 kilometers on the other side of Koronadal, where you're on one end of
Barrio
Koronadal.
8.
We're in Barrio 8. Does that mean anything to anybody
Barrio
outside
8
of? I have no idea.
Koronadal.
You know, it's taken me 10 years to try and figure out how the geography, how do you find your way around in the Philippines without a sat nav?
I don't know.
Well, when we first met, we went to Manila, and I remember saying, how do we find our way around? And she just sort of went, and you just catch that jeepney or whatever, and it takes you somewhere. So okay, fine. So how do you know which jeepney to catch? Yeah, that's not so easy to figure out. So she says signboards. They have these little. Have you seen them? You don't have jeepneys in this part of the world, but up in Manila, in that area, they're jeepneys, and they put these little boards about this big with squiggly writing, and they stick it in a dirty windscreen in a corner where you can't see it.
Right.
And you're supposed to know where that's taking you.
Right.
No. So I was confused.
So you're another expat here in this area that we live in, and I often talk to the people on our channel about how there's not very many of us in this area, and I've told them, like, the only one I really know is you, and I said, hey, I told them all at the beginning, hey, there's an expat, we getting to know him, and we're so excited. Because we've seen others in this area, but it seems like they come and go, and it's not really that they're bunkered in here. They're not.
No.
They're not here like we are here.
Have you? I mean, I haven't listened to your live feeds before, so have you explained to people why that might be? Why it is that people are with not so many expats in this part of the country? Have you talked about that?
Well, a lot of the people here have some ties to the Philippines, so they either live in the Philippines or been to the Philippines, or they're like us, married to a Filipino. That's most of it. So most of them know that Mindanao is the bad place, and you don't go to Mindanao, right?
Whoa.
There is something to be said for that, and I use the example of a British guy who was living in Zamboanga, which is sort of north and around the corner a bit, but still in the Mindanao island, as it were. And this guy, British guy, and he ran businesses, and he had a big expensive car, and he basically flashed his money around everywhere he went. He'd got his nice wife on his arm and all this sort of thing. And he got, I'm trying to remember, did he get kidnapped?
Yeah, they got kidnapped.
And is there any wonder? If you go around saying, oh, look at me, I've made loads of money, you're a target. You know, it's like you may as well paint a big circle on your head, on your forehead like that. See, I've got a big forehead. You could paint a big circle on here and say, shoot me, like that.
Right.
So
Get me.
the plan is, if you're living in Mindanao, don't do that.
Right. Kind of be quiet about being here, right? So
Relatively quiet. Although I do stand out a little bit, I've got to say. You didn't mention my other little passion, apart from my wife, of course. My other passion is motorbikes.
Yeah.
But you mention that later.
Yeah. Here's another question that popped up.
Right, I need 3 hours to read. It's quite a long one, isn't it? Election is a hallmark of the Calvinistic side. Okay, thank you for that. I'm going to have to look up the details of Calvinistic versus Armenian. It's not the history of all of this stuff. I've got to say, it doesn't really interest me too much. I mean, I understand a little bit about the history, but it's never been something that really fueled my enthusiasm. Let's put it that way.
Well, here's a question.
Question. How many trumps? I presume you mean trumpets. Is that right?
Yeah.
In the Bible, are we living in the end times? I have That's an interesting question. I haven't personally. I don't think any. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound flippant. Okay, but we haven't heard any trumpets yet. If I remember rightly, and you can correct me on this, that I think there's supposed to be 7 trumpets, but I have a little chart with it all written on, and I'm not very good at memorizing things. But 7, I think it's 7. Are we living in the end times? Well, the Lord said that we're living in the end times from when he was walking the earth before he was crucified. So he said we're living in the end times starting then. That was 2,000 years ago. So you could say on that basis, yes, we are. If you're trying to say things like this coronavirus business and the plague of locusts that were flying across the north of Africa a couple of weeks ago, if all of this is to do with end times, I don't like to make those kind of assumptions or whatever you want to call that, because we don't know how bad things could get. Now, the Bible, Revelation, talks about some pretty horrendous things at the start, as the tribulation period begins. And the idea is that we go from when the tribulation begins, we as Christians, born again Christians, we're going to have to put up with the stuff that's going to happen for about 3.5 years. Then the Lord comes back, and then we're gone. Right. And then the rest of the world has to put up with the rest of the tribulation, and then other things happen after that. So it's where are we? I don't know.
We'll not try to get into it too deep. We're just going to be on here a little while tonight, so we won't.
I thought I kept that fairly brief, actually. But anyway, okay. Another question. My family's spent
Barry G's in the house. Barry G, hello, my friend. I don't think we said hello to you yet.
Barry G. Becoming mental health specialists. How do you combine your help from a Christian base with the real need for these people? Okay, well, interesting that you mentioned mental health specialists. My last career before I could have semi-retired was as in Britain we call them counselling therapists, but I guess in America they would be known as psychotherapists. So I worked in the health service for 15 years. Well, mostly for 15 years. I did some private practice work as well. So I worked in mental health myself for quite some time. Now, it's been a very difficult thing to. I'm not going to go into detail, Bill. Don't panic. It's a difficult thing to try and take things of a psychological leaning and apply those. It's very hard to do that. So I wouldn't do that. So everything I did was of a secular nature. But one thing I learned about the work that I did, because I was trained as some people call them Rogerian therapists or person-centered or client-centered therapists. The one thing I learned about the training and everything that I did with clients was that what it actually boiled down to was I was learning to love people.
Right.
Love in the biggest, broadest sense that you could possibly imagine, which encompasses many things. So, and God's Jesus's message to us is love. So, I guess I tend not. I've never been one for using techniques with clients or anything like that. Um, it's always been a case of trying to be as open and honest and loving and caring in a way that doesn't get you into trouble, if you understand my meaning.
Sure, sure.
So,
Go
sorry,
ahead,
Bill,
sorry.
go on.
No, go ahead. I wasn't trying to
I was
interrupt.
just going to say that from a scriptural point of view, the helping people, yes, giving somebody a scripture reference to say, well, that is associated with a person's particular problem, I don't personally believe is by itself enough. You know, you've got to look at a person's difficulty, see where they're going, give them something from the Lord to help them. But at the same time, we still have to listen to people and try and understand their problem. And so, all of the skills that I learned as a therapist, I can still use.
Right. Now, as far as since we're on YouTube, um, as far as being on YouTube, what what benefit other than it's an easy way to get people to get your stuff, to be able to
Mm.
listen to lessons and maybe they can comment, ask you direct questions and stuff. But have you looked into other beneficial ways to help? Um, I know it's a website and teachings and everything. Have you and this isn't something that I've asked you before, but how
Yeah.
do you see it intermingling with the rest of the things that you're doing? Do you
Right.
foresee YouTube fulfilling this part of the role or whatever?
Okay.
Um,
I think we can answer that by saying this: there are things that we would like to do, but we currently can't do it. So, Lani and I, we've been talking about what you're sort of maybe you're getting at is we need to be. I've used the phrase "boots on the ground." Okay, we can't. I don't want to do everything by the internet because you're not
right.
making direct contact with people.
Sure.
It's been done that way initially because my plan was always to do some work and work for the Lord here in the Philippines.
Right.
But I was in England trying to earn some cash to live by before I retired. So
Right.
doing I decided to do things by the internet because that's what I could do at that time, at that place. Here, yes, the YouTube channel is a supporting aspect, but it's not the be all and end all.
Right.
It's about helping people, not just locally, but around the world. Okay. But we also want to be able to help people locally as well.
Right.
So some of the materials that I've made available I'm just pulling those in from other sources. The ones that I'm doing myself, my plan is that the mini sermons that I'm planning that I'm using or I'm creating, putting them out on YouTube, but I'm also going to use those for a plan that we have, hopefully to once this COVID thing is out of the way and we can get ourselves back into some sort of semblance of normality, we actually want to start doing something on a physical basis with people, and I can use those sermons as part of that process. So it might be some kind of provision, and we haven't sort of fully worked out the details of it yet, and we need to try and drag a few other people in if they're willing to be dragged. Not mentioning any names, Bill, but are you free
No,
next week?
no,
No.
I'm just hanging around the house, so
Don't mind right now.
right.
But so yeah, we haven't got sort of finalized what that will be, but I want to be able to offer some kind of facility to help people in a practical sense in the local area, and also give them a message from the Lord at the same time. So it's an old method, if you like, which goes back hundreds of years. It's called, I don't know what, there's a name for it, but it's about giving solace and respite to the weary and the lost. And
Right.
whilst you've got them under your roof, giving them a bowl of soup, you give them something from the Lord as well.
Sure.
Something along those lines.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I see such a need for that here, and I believe we've spoken about it. Some of the stuff that maybe we haven't talked about it, but some of the things that we've done in the past with trying to help feed, and also not only feed, but while we're there feeding the people, we're giving them a message
Exactly.
as well. And it works beautifully. They get fed in two different ways, right?
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, we've got two lovely ladies here who are. I'm certainly married to a wonderful cook.
Right.
So
Well,
why you
what?
take the taste of chicken curry I had for lunch? It was great, really
What
well done.
is?
But no, I mean, we each have our little jobs. I'm a teacher, so that's kind of what I do. I'm not very good at making chicken curry, I've got to say.
Right.
That's not my forte.
Not your
So
specialty.
when you get a group of Christians or people come together and you pool your resources and do things, and you can make things happen.
Okay.
And
So to change it up a little bit here, what I know you've spent time living in the Philippines before.
yeah.
Then you left. But since you've been to the Philippines this time, since you've been living here full time, what the crazy have you seen around town in this area? Share
Oh,
some craziness.
okay. I mentioned before we have a motorbike. That's our primary transport. Okay.
Right.
Now, I could ask you this question. Let's ask everybody. If you've ever driven on a motorbike and you're doing, say, I don't know, 40 or 50 miles an hour, and you've got your wife sitting behind you, clutching onto you for grim death, as they say,
Right.
and you were driving along on a very busy road, and you see someone who looks like they've literally just come out of a coal mine with hair hanging like this, really long hair, half naked, hurling massive rocks at cars as they pass by. And I'm not joking. That is exactly what happened. And we were driving along. I was driving along, going on the way out towards our house, out of Koronadal. And this guy, he hurled this rock, and I saw it coming out of the corner of my eye. I just saw it coming. And I could hear it even with my helmet on and the bike going and the traffic. I heard this and I felt it was such a big rock. It was going, thunk, thunk, like bouncing on the road, heading in my direction.
Right.
So anyway, fortunately, it didn't hit us. So
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it's I think I spend a lot of times trying to talk to whether it's family or different people. Seems like we got to have a lot of people that find our channel that they're planning to come to the Philippines. They have met somebody. They're going to come visit, and Manila is its own beast. The big cities have their own issues and stuff. But if they talk to me about what is it like living in Mindanao, where it's not such a huge city, and what's going down, what is it like, and trying to tell them some of the things that I've seen, and some of the things that I can't believe I've seen.
right.
It's always like an interesting, you know, the other day I seen somebody climbing up a power wire, and they're using a metal ladder to get onto the power wire. And what
That
is
might
going?
explain. That might explain why we've been getting some brownouts.
There
Yeah,
you
because
go.
all he was reach across like that from, if he's holding onto the pole, reach across and grab hold of the power cable, dead.
Right.
The word in Filipino is patay. Thank you. Yes, patay. So, yeah, I'm learning. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything other strange that we've seen. Have we seen anything strange while we've been here? No, I don't think so. I think the guy hurling the rocks has been. He really was.
That was the
Yeah,
over the top.
I mean, some of the things, but I'm speaking as an expat, from a different culture. A lot of the things I see here are a bit strange sometimes. I do struggle, and I'm not gonna say anything about the government because I think they're wonderful.
Right, exactly.
Not that I do.
Seriously,
Anybody who supports Mr. Duterte, yes, thumbs up. There's my camera. There it is. I think he's a great guy. I really do, seriously. However, some of the people under him, I think they need a bit of an elbow, I think.
Right. But he's from our island, so we got to support local, right?
Davao man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't it? His daughter is in charge in Davao now, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah. His daughter's still the mayor. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I could spend all day talking about some of the strange things that happen.
Right.
Their cultural differences, and I don't want to have a nasty sharp stick in my side from my Filipino.
Yes. But when we get together, we get to sit around and talk about it. So while they're talking, we talk our stuff, right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, it has to be done. I mean, it is. I guess I don't know about you, Bill, but I love this country. I mean, I make comparisons between here and Britain or England, if you like, and I can see so many similarities and yet such vast differences in the way the things go, things happen. For example, where we're currently at, just to give you a quick example, how many times in the UK have I ever? Obviously, I've said it now. In England, have I ever been in a situation where I've had no water supplied to the house and no electricity on the same day at the same time, happening on a regular basis? Well, I can tell you, when I was in England, when I was a kid in 1973 or thereabouts, or 1973, or maybe a little bit before that, we had strikes in England from the coal miners and blah blah blah. We had lots and lots of power cuts, and I remember as a kid, my parents walking around with paraffin lamps, and things like that. It was all very, and the power going off and using candles and all the rest of it. That was in 1970, whatever it was. Yeah. But here, almost every day, we've got the candles by the side of the TV here, and the water at the moment is beautiful. It comes from the mountain, doesn't it? We have a mountain behind us. The water is free, doesn't cost us anything, and it is the best water you've ever tasted in your life. The best spring water you could think of when it arrives. But as I find,
is it a slow roll to get to your house? Is that what it is?
Well, it can no, but I think there's a lot of stops on the way. It's a bit like a bus going into the city. There's an awful lot of stops before it gets here, and I think some people go, oh dear, and they turn it off and they sort of they divert it because it's coming from a spring up the mountain. You see,
right.
So I'm not complaining, but it's just one of those things that you have to get used to. So we're getting into the habit of filling every container we can find full of water in the morning before it goes off.
Right. Yeah, I was just on someone else's show, and they were talking about he lives toward Manila there, not too far outside of Manila, and he was saying their water, they used to have water from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. and at 4 p.m. they cut it off, and that's how it's been since they've been here. But now, since this is going on, they actually continue the water going past the cutoff time. So it's the first time he's had water into the evening. So
Wow, lucky man,
uh,
lucky
right.
guy.
So there's a positive and all the negatives. So some of that.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about water, you do have to be careful in this country. I think what you drink, that's absolutely for sure. And I've had this sort of highlighted because we moved house, and you know this, of course. We moved house in January of this year. We got a place, and we were living in this sort of little subdivision. And the water that we had, our little granddaughter staying living with us at the time, and she would come out of the shower. She's only 6 at the time, and she would come out of the shower and she would say, "Daddy Lo," that's me, by the way. "Daddy Lo, the water is mabaho." What do you mean? So water's water. Why would the child come out saying that the water smells?
Right.
Yeah. So I next time I had a shower, I decided to just, and sure enough, the water that came out of the faucet, out of the shower thing, it did have a nasty smell to it. It wasn't very
Right.
nice at all. So she was right.
Right.
That's why I say now that the water we have here, I can drink it straight out of the tap, and it's the clearest, beautifulest water you've ever had.
That's awesome. Yeah, I
So
wouldn't
10,
dare do this one.
10 kilometers down the road, the water is mabajo.
Right. Well, that's probably our water that we get here. So
No comment. I don't know. Maybe it is.
it probably is. We're in the town or on the edge of the town or whatever. So
Thankfully, we never had lack of water or power. Is Big E? Are you in Cebu now? Is he in? Yes. So you don't
yeah.
have any power outs at all in Cebu?
Uh,
That, is that what he's saying?
yeah. That's as of now. Yeah, he's in Cebu, but I'll let him answer if he's. I don't
If he
know if
feels
he ever has brownouts there or anything like that, but Cebu and they even have some high speed internet, so it's pretty
they
amazing.
do.
Power out.
We're getting here in this area in Koronadal. We're actually getting fiber internet cable. It's being
Yeah,
installed them now, apparently.
I
So we
think,
had a one route in 5 or 6 years. Good
yeah,
grief!
Wow.
yeah,
I'm jealous. We
yeah,
have about 7 a week, if not
right.
more.
Yeah, you
But I
have
found
more
out.
than we do, but
Well, we have a good reason. We have I say good reason. We have a reason why we are having more power outs than you do in your area. And we discovered, no, I think it was last week. I think was it last week when about the transformer, the local transformer, where the substation, if you want to call it that, it's got a fault. And was it last week? And they said we had to have an entire day from, was it 5 in the morning, so 8 in the morning until 5 at night.
Yeah.
So the whole day, no electricity, nothing. And apparently they were supposed to be repairing the transformer. And so we thought, okay, we'll put up with it. And it's really hot here. So we
yeah,
put up with that throughout the day. And then we expected when it came back on late, so I think it came on about 6 or 7 o'clock. Great, we've got electricity back. Quick, put the aircon on. Wonderful, wonderful. Next day it went off again.
right.
So that was a waste of time, wasn't it?
Yep. He was saying, Big E saying that it's more expensive there in Cebu than Coronadal, probably, and I'm pretty sure it is from talking to him about different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
more
never having
expensive.
been to Cebu, I don't know. Well, we lived prior to the last time I was here. I left here in 2014, I think it was.
Because Cebu is the same Manila.
It's the same as Manila. Right. The
It's
same kind of cost wise.
Yes.
So
Right.
we
Crowded.
Well, we lived just on the outside edge of Metro Manila. So we were in Cavite prior to this, and it was I don't know. It wasn't as expensive as the center of Manila, was it? Yeah, but it was still. Things are a bit cheaper here, I think.
Right.
Corruption, definitely. Incompetence, yes. Well, that's that's been a kind of legacy of the Philippines. But I remember saying to Lanie when we first came here, not here, to the other place, about the corruption in my country. You see, in the Philippines, the corruption is there. It's there for people to see. It's almost like, hey, we're corrupt, like that.
Right.
But I don't really mean that, but you know what I mean. It's more obvious. They I don't know what the robbers. It's like robbers wear the black mask and a stripy jersey when they swag bag over there. They're a bit like that. But in the UK, the robbers over there, they're very, very good at hiding, and mostly they're politicians.
Right.
And they are very good at hiding how they steal the money, but they're getting found out.
Yeah. As we see our sister in the belief, singing for the Creator is in the house. Thank you for coming by. We appreciate you. She's got an excellent channel. You guys check her out. She does. I've been to some of her. She's had some Bible studies, and also she's all time singing on there. So it's pretty awesome.
Okay.
So, yeah, you guys check her out. Tell us to keep strong in our faith. Here's our friend, new friend, Mountain Man.
What's the church doing at this
What is
moment?
the church doing at this moment with this time and hour we are in? To be honest, I haven't seen anything much. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, the church is so. The church is supposed to be like this, but
Yeah.
they're all doing their own things. It seems like, but as far as believers, what I have seen is, some people standing firm in the faith, and this is what we believe, and this is, how we feel about it. But myself, I don't think there's a better time that I've been around to share my faith with others. When everybody is fearful, when everybody is worried, when everybody doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and we're able to say, hey, whatever tomorrow brings, I still believe in the Lord. I still believe in Jesus died on the cross for me. So it is. I see those same type of people out there giving those messages, and it's awesome to just hear people be able to take this time and share, no matter if this is the end or if this is nothing to do with the end. It's still time to share the word, and it's still time to share what God has done for us. I mean, He sent His only Son to die on that cross, and it's for people, big sinners like Bill Riley, and I didn't have to do anything special. He died. The gift was given. I had to accept. I had to believe. I have to stay firm in my belief, and
Sure.
I get the ultimate gift. So
Well, there you go.
that's kind of what I see.
That's everybody's choice, and we all have to make that choice. Right. If I could say something a little bit about the question, what's the church doing in this day and age? That's an almost, in some ways, it's an impossible question to answer, because when you ask about the church, what exactly do we mean anyway by that? What does our I'm sorry, I didn't catch the person's name who asked the question.
Right. It was Mountain Man.
Mountain Man, that was it.
Yeah.
The church, what is that? I'm as the name of my website and so on, and my ministry is called Elect Bible Ministries. I can see that I firmly believe that there are only a certain number of people who are the elect. Who are the elect? The people who have given their life to the Lord, and that's all. That's that. Now, those elect people are also filled with, hopefully they should be filled with the Holy Spirit, and they should be going through a process of building themselves in terms of building their spiritual life, if you like, in terms of service towards each other and towards perhaps other people, spreading the gospel and so on and so on. Those are the people who are the true church. Now, if you, and I'm going to be controversial here, but I don't care. If you look at the Catholic Church, I'm sorry if there are any Catholics in the audience, I do apologize, but if you look at the Catholic Church, can we honestly say that these people, that the majority of them are in fact elect? Are they the children of God? Do they follow the Bible? Do they follow the instructions of God or not? Do the Mormons, do the Jehovah's Witnesses, do the how many, the Adventists and all of these? There's a whole bunch of lots of different ones. Or you could even say, do the Methodists? You know, and you could pick out all the different denominations and then say, well, what is it defines the church? What is it? Okay,
Right.
and as far as I'm concerned, it's if you follow what God says and you do what He commands, then okay, that's you. You're, shall we say, to put it flippantly, in the club, as it were.
Right.
So if you're talking about, sorry, go on, Bill.
You're just saying it's not about the
religion.
yeah, it's not about the religion. It's it's more. It's not just the name of the building that you go to, or I'm a Lutheran, or I'm a whatever. It's about that relationship, right? Whether you have it or not.
Absolutely, and I guess, see, this is the problem when it comes to giving names to denominations.
Yeah.
It's like, well, which one's right?
Right.
You know, is it the Lutherans? Is it the Baptists? Is it the list is endless, isn't it?
Right. Yes.
And I guess somewhere along the line we all make a decision about which path we're going to follow in terms of doctrine and what have you, and that's where the individual choice comes in. You know, you've got to decide individually. You have to decide which path to follow. But how do you know? And this is why, as an educator, I come into this, because I think, how can people make an informed decision, not about being saved, but about which group of people how do they know that they're following God's word?
Right. Right.
How many years have they been studying the Bible before they got saved? Probably none. That would be my guess. Time. So it's like there's a little bit of chicken and egg going on here. You find yourself, you get saved, and then it's like, well, you're like a little baby, aren't you? In a metaphorical sense, you're like a baby, with a spiritual baby, and you then rely on the people around you who brought you to the Lord, perhaps to educate you and fill you. But the trouble is, in my experience anyway, is that they don't. Right. What they do is, in a lot of cases, they fill you with a lot of mumbo jumbo that comes from the religion, the ritual, and all of the other stuff that you find that comes with it.
Right.
And I've had a go at the Catholics, and I'm going to have a go at the Pentecostals now, because having been in a Pentecostal church for some 8 years or more, I saw what they tried to fill me with, and my common sense, military mind, sort of said, there's something not right about this, and I kind of resisted. I resisted going down this road of, I'm sorry, but the idea of speaking in tongues really made I used to have hair, by the way. It used to make my hair tingle and curl, really. She didn't know me when I
out and ran off, huh?
It felt like, but yeah, and it really, because it's not biblical, but these people do. Anyway, so I'm going to pick another denomination to have a go at in a minute.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll try not to get too many people.
You don't want to upset You want to have some audience left at the end of the day. I do apologize.
You might have picked out each one of them, and I just start seeing them drop off. Like no.
Okay, let's make the list. I've done the Jehovah's Witnesses. I've done Mormons. I've done the Catholics. I've done the Adventists. There can't be many left, surely.
Yeah.
Imagine that's a predestination.
What is it?
I did see predestination.
Sorry, I'm losing some of the comments in here.
Yes.
I'm not very good at keeping them up. I just want to make sure that again, Have Mercy is this one right here. That's her. That is her channel. She doesn't use it too often, but that's my wife's channel. Her private channel. Of course, we shared Check Out the Rileys together. But she's leaving a link here to their channel. So if you guys would hit on it and go give them a like, mash the red, join the channel, and maybe there's a teaching that's calling your name coming up. So you see something that is, again, the new channel. So they only got one vlog, one video up. So you're not going to go there and see a lot of content yet. But they do have a website. It's by the same name. You want to give that website again, Steve?
Yes, sir. Yes, it's you can choose. It's HTTP blah 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 or www. Please yourself. Elect, all one word. Elect Bible Ministries .wordpress.com.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. It's all connected there. Let's see. Mountain Man. There was a question.
Oh, that's a big question. Predestination? Question mark. Well, yeah. I guess you're asking, Mountain Man. I guess you're asking the question: do we believe in predestination? It's just one word, but it's got such an awful lot of meaning. I'm going to say yes. The answer to that question is yes and no. Yes and no. And the reason we just sort of fill out the question, predestination, I guess he's asking is, do we believe that the Lord determines our fate, our what is going to happen to us in the future? So does the Lord know in the future that that Bill is going to be saved in whenever it was, and the answer is yes, of course the Lord knows these things because he's omnipresent. He's in all places at all times. God is a spirit. Let's be absolutely honest and clear about that. God is a spiritual being, so he has the ability to be anywhere and everywhere that he's got. So knowing everything, and well, that's something slightly different, but being everywhere at all times, of course he's going to know in the future who actually gets saved.
Sure.
Because the question is it predestination or do you have a choice? So do you? So of course, if the Lord is living, if he's aware of what's happening 20 years from now, he's going to know that our kids are going to either be saved or not be saved. So is that predestination? Is he determining that will happen? No, because if he was to determine that would happen, in other words, if he made it happen, then we would not have free choice.
Right, exactly. I was thinking Big E would actually be one of the people that if he got to know you, that he would like you. This is, some of the stuff that he's been talking about on his channel. So when he wrote this, it's very good. It's what I thought he might say. So it's pretty cool to see. So, but anyway, Big E.
Talking about Big E, is that what you mean? You're talking about Big E and his comment there.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Again, this Calvinist or not. Okay. Let me say something about sorry, Mercy. Something about political correctness.
No, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
No.
I switched
No.
it.
So tired
I
of
am not
political correctness.
politically correct.
Yes.
I think it is
I'm not
the
afraid to
biggest
talk
problems that this
politics.
world faces today.
Yeah,
One of the biggest problems.
definitely.
There's a big story behind all of that. It's got to do with socialism and how socialism works in the world. And socialism is, I'm sorry to say, whether you like it, whether you think if you're in Britain, for example, or maybe you're a Democrat today, you think that socialism is nice and fluffy and it's there to help all the poor people, so that nobody has to suffer in the world. You are, I'm sorry, deluded. It is evil to the core, and socialism equals communism. There is no difference. It's just different, different sort of flavor. Not a flavor isn't even not the right word. It's like different. It's like you have a cup of tea. Okay, oops, my camera just fell off. Sorry. If you
Oh, we'll see if he gets back up here. All right.
Wait a minute. Did I fix the up?
Can you hear us at all? Numbers. Here, here, Can you guys hear us? We're gonna share headphones for a second.
Can you guys hear us? Hey
Hey,
Joe,
Joe.
wala.
Equipment malfunction. It's called my tablet fell down and everything went. So we're back
I'm
again.
crazy.
Can you guys hear us?
Hold on just a second. They're having some trouble
hear
hearing
you
us on
singing.
the. Okay.
For the creator. Mountain said
So
yes, yes.
we had to put in our earplug here, so we're
Okay, it's
sharing
all
it.
good now. Thank you, Mountain Man, for telling us. Did you hear the last part, Mountain Man?
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys. Let's see where we were. Were you in the middle of talking about something, Steve? I
I
don't
was,
I don't
remember.
remember.
I think I'm going to have a senior moment, and I've completely forgotten what I was
I
saying.
think
No
Big
problem.
E said something about the political stuff.
Oh yeah, I was talking about political correctness. I mean, that's a very, very big subject. So, just to say that, yes, no, I don't believe in being politically correct. I think we need to say what needs to be said. That's pretty
Yeah.
much. And if we can't tell the truth about what's going on in the world, if we just fall into the if we fall into the habit of following the politically correct view, then it's just lies. Just to give you an example, okay, you mentioned earlier on that I was into martial arts. One of the things that I learned was about Japanese history. And if anybody knows anything about history going back about 500 years, the Japanese, they developed a particular way of living, and they lived with political correctness on steroids. Okay, they even had a name, and they still use. I think they still use it a little bit today. There's a name for the real truth and the political truth, and they actually had no choice. Every day of their lives, samurai and ordinary person alike, they all had to live by the politically correct truth. Anybody who spoke the real truth, you got into big trouble. And when in times of feudal Japan, if you were getting into big trouble, that usually meant losing a hand or possibly,
Right.
head. If that's that's a bit of an exaggeration for today's society, but is it?
Right.
Tom Patrick is in the
Tom
house.
Patrick, hello,
Hello,
my
Tom
friend.
Patrick.
Welcome.
Yes.
Let's see.
I'm sorry. I think with my little problem with my camera, I may have missed one of those questions, so I apologize for that.
Oh, it's okay. I've just been putting up a few comments here too. Different people
So
saying different
singing.
things. There wasn't a like a direct question. I don't think I put up there.
Okay.
If you guys have questions, just leave a comment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we're gonna
please.
post and yeah.
Hey, I'm interested to see if Big E, he's made some great comments here. If he would like to come up and speak, if he would, just let me know and I'll put up the link there.
Also, we'll be staying only 2 hours.
Yeah, we're at about 1 hour 29 minutes. We will be. Uh,
Oh, Mountain Man also asked about what elect.
okay, do we miss that
Oh,
one?
that was
Yes,
the
we missed
question.
that one.
Yes.
Yeah,
What do we mean by
we
elect?
forgot. Sorry, Mountain Man. What does
Right.
elect
Elect.
mean? You have mentioned it several times. That's why I asked about predestination.
Okay. Elect. It's the word that certainly Paul in his letters uses a great deal to talk about those of us who are saved by the grace of God through a belief in Jesus Christ, the elect. Now, as without going into a big sermon or anything like that, I don't want to do that. But there are those people in the time of Jesus. Of course, we had the Jews were very sort of, obviously they were very influential in Israel. Obviously, they believed, because of the promises given through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob by God to them, that the promises given to them for the Hebrew nation, that these were that meant that essentially that the Jews were the elect meaning those who have been elected to be the children of God, God's children in God's kingdom. Now the Jews have lived with that understanding, following the laws given to them by God through Moses and and directly. They've lived with all of that for centuries, many centuries, thousands of years. And they've also been told through prophecy that there's going to be a Messiah. Yeah, but they chose to ignore the Messiah that came, didn't they? So we know that. So the problem, what's happened then for the Jews is they missed, well, to put it in simple terms, they missed the boat. When the boat came, they missed it. They didn't recognize it for what it was, and they didn't see that, even now, was it Isaiah 53, I think, describes in great detail who the Messiah is going to be, and they went, "No, sorry, didn't see that, didn't see it coming." And do you know something I found out recently? I didn't realize this. I posted something on my Facebook page about this, that even the Jews today are not allowed to read Isaiah chapter 53. Yeah, it's the German say es ist verboten. You're not allowed to do it. They don't allow you to read it. How crazy is that? Why is that? Well, because it describes who the Messiah is going to be. Anyway, that's another story.
Right.
And funnily enough, strangely enough, when you read Isaiah 53, and it strangely describes Jesus Christ to a T and everything that he did. Incredibly. I can't see the coincidence is just incredible.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry for my sarcasm. Forgive me.
It's okay.
But so what's the elect? Well, unfortunately, they missed the boat. So we've got the Messiah, we've got Christ, and unfortunately, the Jews missed it. So they forfeit, don't they? Really, if you miss the boat, then you're not going to get to your destination. It's as simple as that.
Right.
So unfortunately, the Jews haven't got to their destination. They're still waiting for this person to arrive. So those of us who believe on Jesus Christ, we are now the elect,
Right.
the children of God.
Sorry.
I don't know
First resurrection right. What does that? Well, I'm not quite sure what singing for the Creator means by first resurrection right. I need to expand the question.
You just tell me. Yeah. Well, it's we have a minute before anybody else asks any questions, or someone might want to touch base on something. But while we have a second here, let's remember, if you guys have not looked into Elect Ministries, Elect Bible Ministries, definitely check out his channel. Again, it's a new channel. We inviting everybody to go give him a look and stay if you like. But tell others about it and get to know them even more. So there is a link. Mercy, have mercy. Just threw up in the chat, and let's see if we got a another question here.
Right. Yeah.
That,
This is like a statement or an information. Is that?
You
you can do the next one.
The crux of the does God elect or does God look down the corridor of time to see those who would election based on that?
Yeah.
Okay, shall I read the question so that everybody can? I don't know if everybody. Big E is saying that the crux of the election is: does God elect, or does God look down the corridor of time to see those who would choose Him and make his decision, his election based on that. I think we've got to sort of be careful about the use of the understanding of the word elect. Elect are people who are chosen. Yes, that's correct. When Paul talks about it, he uses the word elect alongside. I'm trying to think of the other word that he uses, but it's not. He doesn't always use the word elect. He sort of uses it in conjunction with or in place of God's chosen or the chosen of God. So you tend to think, well, surely then that means that God is choosing these people. Try and think of it a different way. Try and think of it in terms of God has God has given the opportunity for a group of people to become the chosen, to become his children of God. And so given the opportunity, you then have a choice. Do you want to become one of the chosen of God or not? And you make that personal choice. That's where this business about predestination, is it predestination or not? Or is it your own choice? Well, the answer is God gives you the opportunity to become one of the elect. So it's not a case of God elects, God chooses in that sense. It's a case of God giving everyone the opportunity through Christ to become one of the elect. And you then make that choice as to whether or not you want to do it. Paul likes to call them the elect. Okay, fine. That's a name that it kind of in Old English, if you like, because don't forget, we're talking about a word that comes from a time way back in English history when that word was used perhaps in a slightly different way.
Right.
So, will the elect be in the first resurrection, says Singing for the Creator? The elect will be in the first resurrection. They are going to be, I think I mentioned this, we have the tribulation time. The tribulation is supposed to be is 7 years. Halfway through that, 3.5 years in, is to be when Jesus comes back. So that's the time when we have the rapture. Now, when we talk about the first resurrection, well, if you're talking about the resurrection when all are judged before the Lord, if that's what I'm assuming it's a woman, given the picture, I don't know. If that's what she thinks, what she's saying, then all people are resurrected, not just the elect, everyone, sinners and Christians alike, and all are judged. That's it.
Well, she is a lady, and she's got a beautiful voice.
Right.
Watching her videos, and where she's singing, and also she's studying, and all
I'll have
kinds
to
of
have a
good
look.
stuff. So you have to,
I like
check out the channel. Yeah,
good singing.
it's one of the great things about YouTube is you get to connect with so many different people. When I used to be on YouTube before, I just go in and watch a video and get out. Never really wander around or get to know like some of the creators of the channels or anything like that. But now, since we actually put up this channel and started working it this past November, we really started working it and went to get to the monetized part. So we got to really get on here and do these live streams and stuff, and you get to meet some very interesting people from all types of uh, walks of life, living in all kinds of different situations, and me being a Christian, my wife being a Christian. Uh, you can ask anybody that comes to our channel. Our views, we get to share them. If somebody comes here, we get to tell them, "Hey, we're Christians. We believe in Christ." I mean, it's a great opportunity for us. And not only that, we can seek out other people. If I go to somebody's live stream and I get to talk to them or whatever, I'm still the same person. I still want to talk to them, and if there's a chance to share God or share what God's doing in our life, hey, I'm taking that chance, and
Mm.
we're talking about it. So that's a great thing about YouTube as well. So
Well, I think you're right, and this is our first time, so
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I can see your point. Um, and I've got to say, I'm not sure if I've got the wherewithal to do all this technical
yeah,
jiggery pokery, but we'll see. So there's
yeah.
another question that Big E's come up with there. Is it a question? The elect Jews are still elect nationally or racially? They still need to come via the cross. Yes, they do. Gentile and Jewish election is not the same issue when we get to the U of the TULIP acronym. Not familiar with your TULIP acronym, sorry, which is unconditional election. Sorry, it's interesting. It takes hours and hours. Well, we're not going to be able to debate that here, and it's
Hours and
he
hours to debate.
obviously spent a lot of time thinking about this.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to disagree, or I can't disagree with what you're saying. So it sounds like there are different views about this, obviously, and it's like you have to. In my view, anyway, I believe in looking at the evidence, looking at what you can see, and the evidence that I take is what comes from Scripture, and so I take that on the face value that it's there, and rather than listen to the teaching of individual people, human beings, it's God's word that I allow myself to be educated by.
Right.
So yes, somebody can, another pastor or someone preaching can point me in a direction and say, "Have you seen this?" Oh, okay, and that's what I think a teacher is for in this kind of context. The teacher points you in the direction of the evidence and then says, "Well, what do you make of that?"
Mm.
Now, when I study scripture, I try to look at it objectively. I don't want to say,
Right.
I don't want to, well, I've fallen in love with Christ and therefore everything must be all sweet and light and roses. And so there can be nothing that needs to be debated. It must all, no, you've got to, you have to look at it in a sense dispassionately sometimes and
Right.
say, is this right or is this not? And maybe I'm biased, maybe the Holy Spirit in me, I don't know what it is, but when I look at scripture, I've been looking at scripture now since 1985. It's been a while. Okay. And I've got to say, I can't find anything in the Bible from beginning to end that gives me cause for concern. That
Right.
there's something not right about what's written in that book.
Right. Right. The thing that I found interesting just today, I wanted to look at, since there's a lot of fear going on, so I
Mm,
chose fear as my word of the day. So I went through scripture just to kind of see what different books of the Bible were saying about the fear, different chapters, different things, and I just was reading what fear looked like according to the Bible. And something that I realized, when I was looking up fear and all these different verses, um, was a lot of times it didn't just say fear, but it said do not fear.
mm,
There's a some words right in front of the word fear. It did say fear by itself sometimes, but very often was do not fear, do not fear. And I just feel, like it's not. We're supposed to fear one thing and one thing only. You fear that
exactly.
you're going to go to hell when you leave this earth, and that's what we need to be fearful of. We need to fear God doesn't show us mercy. We fear that, or he took away something from us. But other than that, we're not supposed to go around and just live in fear and be afraid of. Hey, I watched the news today. Guess what? They said fear everything. I shouldn't breathe. I shouldn't eat nothing. I shouldn't
Don't go there.
don't go
Stay
anywhere.
home.
Uh, So
Right. You're starting to
I was
push some of
also
my buttons now, Bill. Really.
yeah, sorry.
No, what I mean is this fear. Yeah, we should fear only the Lord. That's
Right,
that's the
exactly.
the thing. And when you mention about what you can see in the Bible, you see that I've been hearing people talk about and seeing. Yeah, there's a lot more of this written in the Bible about fear the Lord, fear the Lord, and I think it's right. We shouldn't have to fear what's going on in our life if we trust in God. So
Exactly.
just make sure you do the right thing. Can I just say that Lanny's feeling rather tired now, so I
Oh,
think
I'm
she's
sorry, sorry.
probably going to retire.
Yeah,
Uh,
no problem. We
perhaps
can wrap this up, and we gave out your channel. Let's put the link up one more time, or
okay.
um, again,
I'll check
you guys can go to
back.
our community channel and find their link to their channel as well. They are our friends here locally, and you'll see them in some of our past videos. And if we ever get out of the house again, you'll see them in some more videos coming up. So,
Yes. Apparently, we're not going to be locked in until the 30th of April. I don't think
yeah,
that was the scare that I got today. Scare. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
We'll see.
I keep trying to get the exact words right on that, and I've read different things, and of course half of the stuff is in Tagalog or whatever, so I can only make out certain things. But I've been trying to see where it says, that Mindanao or Visayas, they're gonna let us end early as far as the lockdown and continue it in the north, and I'm looking for that in writing, but I haven't been able to find it
Right.
yet. So,
If I give you a piece of advice, given that you're in the Philippines, the best thing to do is, there's my camera, is to keep these open because you'll hear it before you see it.
yeah, probably so.
Big E
Yeah,
said, "Thank you for
guaranteed.
stating your views and
Yeah,
having a boldness to say how it is."
yeah,
That's Big E said that.
yeah.
And yeah,
Thank you.
And
Mountain Man.
great stuff, and wow, big move, Mountain Man.
Good.
Yeah,
Oh,
Thank you, Mountain Man, Philippines,
I
Big
can't see all of
E,
that
for
stuff.
staying
yeah,
here, singing for
yeah.
the Creator. Thank you
Uh,
guys for,
well, we will bid you goodbye, there, Steve.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you, Steve,
You
for the
guys
time.
and
Maybe
and the
we'll do it
wife.
next time.
Yeah,
But
so
this
God,
time we
think
have a
so.
scripture or something.
Well, yeah, this was dropped on me almost at the last minute.
yep,
So, but
that's how I
it's
do
been.
things.
Thank you,
Last
Phil.
minute.
Cheers. As the children say, I'll get you at playtime.
Right, right. Exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
All right. God bless
Well,
you, and thanks everybody for your
Yeah, God
questions. We've
bless
enjoyed
you.
it.
all right. You
Thank
guys
you,
take
guys.
care.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming up.
Okay.
There you go, guys.
Yeah,
This
big.
is kind of deep. Like we had, I myself would had to be wearing what you call that? Not floating in the and swimming, but submarine
Right.
in a deep. But I did really enjoy.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Opinions, the sharing, and all the streams. Singing for the Creator. Thank you for staying with us.
Yeah, we appreciate you
Yes,
coming by, and
yes, yes, and
it's kind of hard sometimes to do this type of stream where
right,
we know we're gonna have something on that
yes,
that not everybody's gonna
would
want to
agree.
hear, and
Yes,
no, not everybody's gonna agree with it. Not
and too
everybody's
boring, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's we could be going and talking about the whatever,
Yes,
whatever on this other stream. So let's go over there. So, we're getting back into doing these live streams and stuff, and some of them are going to be this type where we introduce you to different people from around the place, whether they're here in the Philippines with us, or whether they're back in America, or who knows who we might get on here.
good to
Um,
have some substance for a change.
uh,
That's
we
right, Vicky.
we um, we definitely
Loved it in house.
we we definitely want to be strong in our beliefs, and we're not trying to force our beliefs on everybody. You don't. Hey, if you
We
believe
respect
this
each
other
other.
way, hey, you're stupid and we're smart. None of that. We try to do it very respectful. He has his own channel. He's going to be putting up
Yes,
different content. You guys
right,
see a taste of what he's going to be bringing, and definitely give them a chance. Check them out.
right,
As you
right.
see, he's
Support.
very easy to talk
Yes,
to. He likes to talk. So talk to him.
yes,
After he gets going here a little bit, we'll talk to him about doing some more live streaming
yes, yes.
and some more
And had
different things.
yeah,
And
like a topic, a scripture or
right,
something.
right. So,
Or I'd like to have like a debate too.
oh, Mercy wants some debates
Yes,
going on.
ideas. I wanna like,
Yeah,
hey,
different
this
things.
is for
Yeah,
the yes and a
yeah,
no kind of.
right. And sometimes,
It will be interesting.
you can go to church and you can listen to a pastor,
Yes,
and they will give you the teaching of the sermon or whatever. But
yes,
a lot of times I see people, and including myself in the past, you walk out of there and you're like, I have no idea what they were talking about. It went over my head. It wasn't it wasn't something for me. But when we do these where
little
it's in
groups.
this format, we can have a group and we can all talk, and
There you
it's
go.
it's awesome. I
Yes,
think
yes.
so. So
Because you can, share your questions, just like a mountain man.
yeah,
You know,
some awesome
interesting.
crap.
He has
Right.
interesting questions. He really that's he wants to learn more and stuff.
Yeah.
Mountain man have a question.
Oh, there's a question.
What
The Garden of
are
Eden.
yeah.
Well, from what I've studied in the past, I don't think the Philippines is the Garden of Eden, but that's my opinion.
Yes.
Maybe you read, you know.
Or maybe next time we're gonna invite singing
Yeah,
for the creator to sing for
yeah.
us, sing and
Oh,
then
yeah. We'd
yeah,
love to
that
hear
will
some of
be
that.
yeah. I think it will be awesome.
Yeah. And also, don't forget she does live streams as
Yes,
well.
yes.
So
Like kind
so
of Bible study,
check
right?
her out. Yeah. Yeah, I actually connected with singing for the
Creator.
creator through Just Brandon. He suggested that I would go and check out her channel, so that is where I met her. Of
Because
course, she's in America, so I don't catch all of her live streams. I sometimes I catch the end or the beginning, but I get to watch them in rerun and different things like that, or get to listen to
there
them
are
differently
all
ways.
there are long time century old debates. That's how it is. That is how people learn. Everyone says the only follow the Bible, but in the construct there are vast disagreements.
Yeah,
Yes. I think half time they don't even know what they said.
right, exactly. It's
Christians should not be afraid of any teaching, he said.
a,
And Elect Bible Ministries, thanks Bill and Mercy, thanks to all here tonight. God bless and take care.
yeah. We appreciate him for being our last minute guinea pigs there. Mercy was in the middle of a class when I was like, oh, let me see if Steve would like to come up on the panel. And I just contacted him and set this up uh, not so long ago. And of course, we had to talk to him about, he's never been to the live stream kind of thing before. So we had to talk about, here's how you do it, here's what it would look like, that kind of
It
thing.
went
So
well. It's
yeah,
interesting,
yeah,
really. And Singing for the Creator agrees to sing
awesome,
in our panel.
yeah,
We will
awesome,
let her know.
yeah.
And
And this,
she have a live stream 12 p.m. today.
oh, awesome.
So
We
you guys, if you
at
guys want to,
12 p.m. Okay,
yeah,
is that
midnight. She lives in the U.S.
yeah,
So
awesome.
I upload for having this. I applaud you for having this. Thanks, Big E.
Thank you, Big E. Appreciate that, my friend.
When
Yeah,
would you like me to come? I can do tomorrow morning.
tomorrow morning.
There you
Um,
go. We have an appointment.
hey, let us.
Can you
I'm
like
I'm gonna
message?
let my wife contact you about it, because we need to see. We only use the free StreamYard, and I'm not for sure how many hours we got.
I
So
think it's 18.
I don't want to make an appointment, and us not be able to. Yeah, it's late night for us right now. So
Yeah.
I don't want to make an appointment and then we can't even get on the StreamYard, that kind of thing. So, uh,
We will
so
definitely
we will try to get a hold of you.
see for the
We'll
creator.
message you.
Thank you so much for
Yeah, we
saying yes,
appreciate.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. Night
yeah,
for you. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
So guys, what else you gonna say?
What else am I gonna say? Hey, we
We
got.
might have live stream tomorrow again.
Yeah,
We're gonna.
we're back to
This is
doing
kind
some
of like
live streams.
similar
Yeah, we're
thing.
back to doing our live streams again.
Yes, yes.
It's we're gonna keep bringing you different
Our goal
topics.
is to what? Encourage,
Or share or what
share
different
the
things
love,
that
love, love.
we, you don't know what we're going to talk about.
I don't know if Mountain Man will sing too.
Mountain Man, are you a singer?
Are you a singer, Mountain Man, or it's
Ooh.
only for your in the shower?
Are you- Big E has sung before.
Oh
I've
yes,
heard
I
him
heard.
singing.
Yeah.
Now we're not going to do a DJ show though, where we get taken down because we we did a DJ show.
Or we might invite Big E. Won't have his show. He's
Yeah,
coming to ours.
we'll
That will be like what?
if we have a DJ show, we'll have to invite just get everybody to his channel and
Yeah.
kind of take over.
Well, what else you think you want to tell them? Yeah, I might pass on the singing, but I will listen.
Yeah.
How about rap?
Yeah. Are you a
Yo
rapper?
yo.
Yeah. I'm not a singer either. My wife enjoys singing and
I like to sing, but
playing,
I'm not a singer.
but you do a good job.
I'm not out of tune. Yes.
Yeah.
La 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 la. I will sing. Singing for. She's ready. Ready, ready.
Yeah.
I'll do a DJ show anytime you want to sing.
There you go.
There's a condition.
And if I could sing, I would be singing.
I'm
Trust
not
me.
a rapper, but I am a rapper.
uh,
There you go. We'll just have to find the rapper.
Hey, they say make beautiful noise unto the Lord, and that's exactly what I make is noise. 'Cause
Clang, 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 clang.
try to hum a little bit, clap my hands.
Or cymbals.
We did, I wasn't used to doing that where I came from. Here they got they use, is that what you guys call them here? What's the tambourines?
Tambourine.
Yeah, they do a big dance. I don't know if you guys ever
Big
seen
E be the backup track.
exactly. But
Singing.
they play the tambourine. They have like a group of like girls in front of the church while they're doing the worship songs and stuff, and they're going to town on those tambourines. Then I find out my wife used to be one of those,
Tambourine, yeah.
and used to
I
teach it
used to
as
teach,
well.
yeah.
So
That's
that's pretty
all
good.
from the, yeah,
And
before I met him.
singing for the Creator. I don't know if you know Big E's voice, but he's got a very
Yes.
yeah, very
Yes.
distinct voice. He's one of those radio DJ voices, right?
Yeah, hello, everyone. Not like that, but kind of like. I'll say something controversial. I actually believe the Philippines is the actual place of the Garden of Eden. I am studying now for the last year.
Awesome. Hey, if God's leading you along that lines, from what I looked at, it's a different spot, but it's hey, it's awesome.
Is that how I sound, Mrs. Riley? Yes.
That's exactly how you sound.
Unforgettable.
Oh man, go ahead, Morris, break it out.
That's what you
Uh, all right,
Just trying.
everybody, we hit the
are.
2 hour
2 hours.
mark.
Woohoo!
We appreciate
We will
everybody
save this
staying here.
time for
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah, we're hoping we still have some juice in the account
Right.
so we can get back on
Guys,
here.
take care, dear. Love you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
God
Singing
bless
for. Thank you,
everybody.
guys, for watching us.
We
Thank you. We
appreciate
appreciate
everybody.
you.
Much love, guys. Share us out
Yes,
sometime. Let them
so,
know.
yes.
Come visit us, and
We're back in.
we're back in business. We're back in town.
We're temporary closed before, but we're back.
We're back. So
See
we'll
you
see you
guys.
guys.
God bless.
God bless.